I'm Caleb. Welcome back to Aviation News. There's several things to cover today, so let's get right to it. First up on our list, Silver Airways has collapsed, leaving hundreds of travelers stranded with no money to pay out to the stranded travelers. Silver Airways, for those who don't know, was a low-cost regional airline that prioritized themselves on using smaller airplanes, a fleet consisting of ATR-72 turboprop aircraft, to secondary cities throughout the United States and the Caribbean. Silver Airways unfortunately have now gone out of business, leaving many travelers stranded, as I mentioned earlier. Silver Airways went to bankruptcy court for protection, and in the end, ultimately, a court has decided their assets, their existing fleet that is, will all be sold off, and a buyer, JSX, another low-cost airline, has expressed interest. An Alaska Airlines 737-900ER was forced to turn around and head back to Seattle while heading out on a routine flight due to a pressurization problem. The aircraft lost all pressurization over Washington and turned around, safely making an emergency landing back in Seattle. Just for clarification's sake, this pressurization problem was on a 737-900ER, not a 737 MAX 9, as what occurred in this ominous incident. If you want to know more about it, check out my video linked up above. Next up, a volcano in Indonesia has erupted, disrupting thousands of flights in the region and putting hundreds of metric tons of toxic smoke and hazardous nitrogen monoxide in the air. This is not an incident that's uncommon, like in Iceland that happened several years ago. However, this incident will continue to be disruptive for the coming weeks as the smoke clears. Next up, American Airlines sent the wrong 787 to Naples. Recently, an American Airlines flight was scheduled to fly with a Boeing 787-8, the smaller variant seen here, from Philadelphia to Naples, Italy. Unfortunately, they sent the larger 787-9, which is too large to land at the small airport in Italy. The plane diverted to Rome, and passengers had to take a bus to Naples. Next up, Etihad Airways have announced they will begin service from Abu Dhabi to Charlotte, North Carolina. This is exciting news for the airline as Etihad continues to expand its global reach, connecting the Middle East to the entire world. However, current political tensions could cause trouble. The route is supposed to start flying in May of 2026, and hopefully political tensions are resolved a little bit by then, and the route does well. Southwest Airlines have announced they will start transatlantic service in 2026. This comes as a surprising move, with Southwest being a traditional domestic U.S. airline. However, due to a new partnership they've struck up with Iceland Air last year, they're looking to expand, and flights for Southwest to Iceland look like they might actually be a success. Iceland Air and Southwest have been partners for a while now, and both fly a similar fleet of 737 MAX aircraft, which is what Southwest would send to Reykjavik. There has also been an update on the American Airlines 737 fire that occurred at Denver. For those who don't know much about that incident, check out my previous video, but basically, the aircraft was repaired, and the fault was found in the CFM56 turbofan with an improperly installed part. This just further concerns those flying CFM-powered aircraft, such as 737s, with numerous incidents occurring in the past couple months. Keeping with the 737 theme, a 737-800 recently had a tailstrike on the ground in Norway. The aircraft sustained minimal superficial damage. However, tailstrikes, especially for 737s, aren't super uncommon, and this really isn't as big a deal as people made it to be. Finally, earlier in the month, President Trump in the United States has signed papers making supersonic transport legal again over the United States. For those who didn't know, supersonic flights have been banned over the United States and many other countries since the mid-1980s, with the introduction of Concorde. The fear was that if hundreds of Concordes and other supersonic aircraft entered service, they'd make loud sonic booms throughout their entire flight that would be heard by everyone under their flight path. This is still a valid concern, and the reason this legislature was put into place. However, Boom Supersonic say they can fix this massive hurdle, and we'll just have to see how it goes for them. Well, that's all I have for you in this installment of Aviation News. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be wishing you blue skies and tailwinds.